podcast answering questions asked on Twitter from you and me. When the kids are
You smell like taco chips.
Shay just attacked me, you guys. There's a velociraptor in the studio. Run!
You smell like a mixture of like honey butter and taco chips. It's kind of nice, actually.
Because I have vanilla lotion on, and I just ate some tortilla chips for lunch.
I want to make out with you and dip you in sour cream at the same time.
Awkward.
Right, Rob? Am I right? You got any sour cream, Rob?
Hey, Rob got a haircut. Did you notice?
I wanted to bring attention to that. You knew I was gonna, right? I even touched it this morning.
You did touch it, As.
Were you mad? Was that off limits?
No, I was just like, whoa, what was that?
Am I gonna lose a finger now? Rob's like, no one touches
Don't
my
touch
hair.
my hair.
But I was like, whoa, Rob got a haircut. It looks good, dude. Who does your hair?
My cousin.
Your cousin. What is your cousin's name? Wait, let me guess. Leonardo da Vinci. No, okay.
Nope,
What's your
not even
cousin's name?
close.
You don't want to say? Okay, don't say. Well, listen, I feel like your cousin is an artist.
He
and
is.
It looks amazing.
He is like a Da Vinci.
Da Vinci Code.
An artist.
Okay, so today we're going to do a 2-part special. Are you ready to do this 2-part
No.
special? So
But we're going to do it.
Since we've never told this story, have we?
Since the beginning of time, people have been asking how we met.
The beginning
and
of our
little
YouTube
love
time.
story. Yeah.
It's such a love story. I'm so excited to tell it. I might cry. Before I said, let's tell this story. And she said, am I going to look like, what'd you say?
Am I going to look mean? I don't remember what I said.
And you said something. You probably cussed.
I was hard to get is the thing. I played hard to get.
Okay, so
And
so we ready?
I might look bad when we tell this story.
You ready to tell the story? Okay,
Yeah, let's
so
tell
here we go. It was a dark and stormy night.
That's not actually how it started. Not really.
Oh, boy. Okay, so I was a 21. Was I 21 when I met you?
I think you were,
21 or 20? Because we were 22 when we got married. I was 22.
You were 22. I was 22 when
You were
Suntard was
20.
born. So
Right. So you were 20 when we... No, what? Where
are we?
We
Who
need our
are
facts
we?
straight. We don't know what
Anyway,
our story is.
We were in our youngin' years.
So I had
younger
just
years.
gotten back from a 2-year Mormon mission. I was overseas serving my time.
Serving my time.
I served a 2-year church mission in Barbados, Trinidad, and Guyana, and I had just gotten home, and my buddy, Derek, was like, hey, my brother's in this play called Anything Goes. You should come with me. And I was like, all right. Why are you talking like that, Derek?
So he went to the musical.
And there she was.
And I was in it. And I didn't actually see him at that time, but that was the first time that he ever saw me.
Tell us
Correct?
tell us about a little background about the musical and your part and all that kind of stuff.
A little background about the musical.
Like you've explained that you've done this all your life. You've
I've
grown
been
up
in
being
plays and stuff, and I have a couple musicals, and this was like, my aunt owned her own like theater company, so I tried out, got the part for Reno Sweeney, who is a classy nightclub singer. Which
she's a hooker.
I was not. I was a classy nightclub singer. If you've ever seen Anything Goes, you will understand. I was classy.
A lot of undertones there. A lot of undertones.
Hey, but I sang, and
she
it was
did
fun.
sing. She sang and she sang and she danced. She danced and she sang the night away. I remember. So I went to this thing with my buddy, and there she was on stage, and I was like, "Oh, who's the lead chick?" Like, because you were like the lead, right? Like the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the lead girl part?
It was the lead
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. So she was like, and you were okay. So you're a classy night singer, but you had like, didn't you have girls like? Weren't the? I need to see the play again. Literally, I haven't seen it since I first.
I
fell in
had
love
like
with
an
you.
entourage.
Yeah, I was like there's these girls that she was like in charge of. Like you were like, right?
I wasn't in charge of
I don't know.
them.
Maybe I'm thinking of the movie Chicago now. I'm thinking
know.
you played what's her name's role? What's the big lady? Oh snap! I painted myself in a corner on this
I
one.
can't remember either now.
What mama wants. Anyways, so she was there singing and dancing, and I was like, wow, she's really pretty. So I had a program, and I was like, so what's her part? Reno? Okay, Reno Sweetie. So I was looking in, and I saw her name as Colette, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty name. Like,
Oh
and then
my
I thought
gosh.
like Cosette,
This
like
is
Les
more-
Mis. I
This
know
is more in depth
we're getting
than
really
I
in depth.
knew.
It's like Les Miserables, you know, because I like really knew I loved Les Mis. I was like Colette, like I love her voice because I had like I had just recently been listening to the Les Mis soundtrack, so like that was just like I don't know, that was a weird personal
Well, connection you made.
So
with
then
me.
I had like literally just gotten home from this church mission, and the rule on your church mission is you're not allowed to hug or touch or date or kiss or flick girls in the head.
Ow!
You can't do that. It's against the rules.
That was rude.
So I was
thing.
like, after seeing her perform on stage, just like any like act or whatever, they come out and then all the audience can go and like shake their hands and like,
After
oh, that
the
was
whole
great.
play.
You sounded amazing. How long did that take you to practice?
Wait, you forgot to tell them what you said.
Oh, right. Okay. So
like that's the main part
I
of
know.
this part of the story.
I've ruined the story again. So I told my here's what I'm trying to think. Yes, it was the first night, yeah.
Now you're
because we came
questioning-
we
Oh,
came
you came
twice.
twice?
We came twice. I came with Amber on a date the second time.
I didn't know that.
Shut up. You did too.
I don't think I did.
You did too. Okay, so listen. So the first night I was there with some of my buddies. It was just us guys, like we were just going to hang out, and then we are just gonna like see my friend Derek's, and we had another friend Derek, and I think Andy might have been there or Jared might have been there. Like we were just all hanging out. We'd all just like gotten home from our missions, so we're like, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna go to school. We're gonna like
see a musical.
pick up on some chicks. What are we gonna do? Shut up. So we
I
were
love
there,
it.
and I was, when she came out, like I said, I looked at her name in the program, and I had like every time she came on stage, I was like, every time she sang, like had a song, I was like on the edge of my seat. And I remember you'd like, because like the stage they had built, it was like a boat, and you were like up on the top, and you were up there singing. I was like, she's so glorious. Look at her hair, like your
I
hair.
was so
And I kept trying to
glorious,
pick
let
out
me tell
flaws.
you.
I'm like, oh, I think her butt's big. Her butt looks big in those pants. I think her butt. And then you like have a change of costume. Like, no, her butt's not big. It was just those pants.
You were trying to pick out my flaws.
I was like picking you apart. I was like, is she that pretty? She's gorgeous.
That's so
And I was like,
funny.
maybe her nose is big, which her
Okay.
nose is a little big. But,
Stop.
but you were like
Stop.
stunning. Like the entire night, I was like, and I said to my buddy Derek, I leaned over and I said, I'm gonna marry that girl. Huh?
He did.
I said that. And we could ask him. I haven't talked to him. We should ask him. We should get him on. I wonder if he remembers that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should
I
ask him.
wonder.
I haven't talked to him for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Anyway,
So-
so
That's the first time he saw me. And then the next time that we saw each other was at a dance, like a church dance.
mm-hmm.
And I remember the first thing.
Wait, I didn't finish. Like I
Okay.
was shy of girls thing. Hold on.
Oh,
So
fine,
so they
rush
came
me.
out, right? They came out after the play. This is the first night. They came out and like, all my buddies were going through the line and like shaking everybody's hand and stuff. I was so like in love with you / afraid of girls. I didn't even dare walk through the line because I felt
Can
like
you imagine Shay being shy?
I know. I was like,
Can
the
we
first
just talk
time,
about this
like,
for a minute?
like, and think about how ridiculous this is. Like, you didn't know me. You didn't know that I like was totally in love with you. Like, but I just felt like I would like give myself away if I walked through that line. Like, I'd just be like, I love you, I want to marry you, and then you would have thought that was weird if I would have done that. So
I probably would.
I literally remember standing back and watching my friends go through the line and feeling jealous that they got to meet you. And like, why couldn't I have just walked through the line and said, "Oh, that was a very nice play. That was a very nice play." And like when I got to you, I'd just be like, "That was a very nice play. I love you. I want to marry you." And just keep going. But I didn't. I literally didn't even dare go through the freaking line. And
You're so cute.
and then there was this other girl that I came back another night actually
he came
on
on a date.
and I was like waiting. I was like, I was like hoping. I'm like, I hope it's that same girl that plays that part because like I hope they don't like switch parts. How some plays will like the main will like get. You know what I mean? Don't they do that
Yeah.
in some?
They
So-
do it on like big productions.
And then you were there, so now I was on a date, but then I was like watching you the whole time. I'm like, yep, definitely gonna marry her. I gotta
Oh
figure
my
out how I'm gonna
goodness.
meet her now.
Feel
And then
bad
I
for the
think
girl
even
you were
that
on a
second
date
night,
with.
I didn't even meet you. And then the first time we met, okay.
Okay,
we
so
actually,
the first
when I actually
time-
saw you, I was like, oh, there she is, she goes to my same school. Yes, I found her. Because I had no idea who you are. Well, I actually did have oh my gosh, I'm so excited to tell these stories.
I know you're jibber jabbering
Okay,
over
go,
there.
Go, you two.
So we met at the institute dance. It was an institute dance, right?
It was.
A church dance. And I was just there, I just like to dance with my friends and blah, blah, blah. And I would remember feeling at that time, I was like, because I was just getting out of a relationship. Let's
Do you want to
talk about it. I was just getting out of a relationship. So I was like in mode where
He
I was
was-
like, I'm not going to date. I'm just going to have fun. We're just going to go out and play, And then I met Shay.
Do you want to talk about the boy you were dating before me?
Well, not yet.
When are we gonna talk about it?
No, the one.
No,
No,
I'm talking about the quarterback.
oh.
Before, like right before. Okay, so
Oh my goodness.
that's why we have
This
to do a
is going to
two-part.
turn
It's
into
such
like
long,
a 7-part series
it's
if we
such
get
a
into
long
this
story. Like,
much detail.
People are like, "How'd you guys meet?" I'm like, "Ugh, it's such a long story," and it's like crazy. Okay, so we'll just try to get it in 2 sessions here. So she was dating this dude. Okay, so first of all,
'Kay, well-
she had a missionary, a boyfriend that she dated in high school.
Okay, wait, you're jumping too far into it.
Well, I feel like we need to establish that before we go back so that we knew.
No, I want to tell them about the first time I saw you.
Okay, yeah. It
You
probably-
told them
okay.
about the first time you saw me.
Okay, that's good. We should have
Right?
talked about how we were gonna do this story.
Yeah, we
Okay.
didn't talk about this beforehand.
Okay, you
By
tell.
the way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, so I was at the Institute dance and I was just dancing, blah, blah, blah. And then, the slow song comes on. And so it's
But
kind
we
of
met
like,
before that. We met before the dance started.
no, we didn't.
Yes, because that's when I said.
That was after.
Oh, it was.
That was after the
Oh,
dance, my
freak, you're
love.
right. I thought that was at the beginning.
No.
Are you sure that wasn't in the beginning?
Yes. Oh,
No, because you were talking to that girl at the end when I said that
that was
thing.
at the end.
The same time? I thought I met you at the beginning first and I said the Cosette thing, and then at the end of the dance.
I thought that was in the middle of the
No,
dance.
because that was like when we walked in. Like I remember walking in with all my friends.
Okay.
And like, oh, there
We'll
she
get
is.
this figured out, you
So
guys.
that's the
Okay, you
first
tell
time I
that
met you.
part then.
Okay, this is how I remember it. The first time I ever like met you and shook your hand and like was face to face with you was we had just walked into that dance and you were
Okay.
standing there. And
I
the
thought
dance
that was
had-
after.
No, because after is the great story about you talking to that girl when I walked out. So
We
which
have
we
so
gotta
many
we gotta tell
stories.
that story. Okay, so when I walked in, I was like, I think I had forgotten that your name was Colette, and I just remembered Cosette because I said that to you. I was like, oh, Cosette, and you're like, oh, it's Colette. I'm like, oh yeah, but it's not. And you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
And you knew what I was talking about. I was like, oh, she knows. She knows Les Mis.
Well, I get that all the time from people. Cosette.
So I wasn't that original. Okay,
Well.
so then we go
So
to the dance.
then we're on the dance floor, a slow song comes on, and I can see, like, out of the corner of my eye, there's this guy coming to ask me to dance. It wasn't Shay. And then I see Shay coming to ask me to dance. And, like, I see him first, and out of my peripheral, I see this other guy. But I see Shay, and, like, the first thing that pops into my head is, he has really nice lips.
Better
'Cause
to
he
kiss you, my
does.
dear.
Right, guys?
All right, guys.
Well, right,
ladies.
ladies, all y'all out there that
Right,
have
Tim?
ever seen Shay.
Hey, Tim. We want to
Hey,
zoom up on
you
those.
can't see it though because he has a beard and a mustache. But then he didn't have
So
any
that's the
facial
first thing
hair.
you thought of me? is
That's
I
the
had nice
first thing. I
lips?
looked at your lips and I was like, wow,
Pervert.
he has really nice lips.
Pervert.
A pervert? That's not pervert at all. Anyways, and so he was walking up towards me, but the other guy got to me first.
I have the details better on this.
I don't feel like you do.
Listen, this is how it went down, Mommy Tard. I'm telling you right now, sucker. I know
All right,
this.
I'm
I
just
remember
gonna sit
this.
back and you tell the entire story.
Okay, that's probably
from
how we
your
should do it.
Perspective.
Let me just talk.
Let me talk.
90% of the comments are like, Shay, shut up and let Mommy finish.
Yeah.
But I just
exactly.
got to say this because I want to set the record straight. This is how it happened. At these institute dances, they have this thing where they'll announce the last dance and they have a prayer. They have a closing prayer. And they say, okay, we're going to, blah, 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 welcome, thanks for coming to the Halloween dance at the church. Woo-hoo, hope
It
you have a
wasn't
good
the Halloween
time.
dance, though.
Whatever
Just
it
so
was.
you know.
And anyways, so then they say, okay, we're gonna have a closing prayer, and then we'll have the last song, and then after the last song is always a slow song. So they said the closing prayer. So this is why I know this. I remember this. I said, okay, they're gonna have the prayer. So what I'm gonna do is like during the prayer, I'm gonna like get right next to her. So like I found out cause I remember you standing there like folding your arms in the prayer, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get right next to her. And then when they say amen, guess who's standing next to the hot brown haired girl with the big puppy dog eyes? Me.
Shay.
Seriously.
Oh,
So
golly.
so then they're like amen, and then it was like, oh crap. And I was standing there and I didn't dare. Like I seriously was scared. Like it was so easy. It was so obvious. The music started and everyone's like, oh, that was fun. And then, as like kind of everybody just like turns like whoever you're standing next to. Cause at that point, it's not like you're there with somebody. It's like a whole bunch of young
Yeah.
adults there mingling. And nobody comes there with a date mostly. It's like you're just there to like meet. It's like, it's like a Mormon breeding ground for marriages. It's like,
Mormon breeding
who's gonna
ground
get
for
married
marriage?
first?
That is not true.
It is totally true. You kidding me?
That's weird.
It is. It's
Anyways.
like, okay, so they have all these activities because I was like, hey, have a meetup. Anyways, so there I was, and I like didn't dare to ask her to dance with me. and this dude swoops in and asks before I did. So that part, you were right. Where I was standing there and I was
Man.
like, hey, I wanted you to ask me, I think, almost. And I was like, hey, I have nice lips. But
You
so
look at
this dude swoops in and they start dancing. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh.
You snooze, you lose, babe.
And then I was like, I was hoping my friends weren't dancing because like we could just go because I was like so embarrassed.
Aw.
And then like they were all, of course, all had girls. They're all dancing. So I'm like, I'll just go get a drink from the drinking fountain. I guess.
You're so cute. So then after the dance,
Okay, so this is the best. It gets
so
worse. It gets worse for me, ladies and gentlemen.
so guys, keep trying.
Never
If-
give up.
Never give up, okay?
Fail, succeed. Hot wife.
No, listen. Okay, so the dance was over. We were outside of the door, like I was chatting with some of my friends, and one of them was actually my cousin. She was talking to me, and we're just standing there, and she goes, "So who you dating now? Who you dating now?" You know, and I'm just like, oh, I'm getting ready to answer her, and
Okay. So
I can tell Shay wants to
let me
date
backtrack a
so
little
much.
bit. So then, like after the dance, my friends were like, "Okay, let's go. Some of these people are going over to this house. You know, we're all gonna go hang out." So I was like, "Hey, okay, hold on." They're like, "What? Let's go." I'm like, "But I was like, wanted to try to talk to you one more time. You know what I mean?" So I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna walk out this way because our car was like I think on the other end." But I'm like, "Let's walk out this way and we'll like loop back around," because I was like seriously just stalking you. You know, I like watched you dance with that guy the whole
Well,
night, and I was
it
like,
worked.
"She will be mine, and I will murder that man."
Scary.
So then she's outside of the door of the building that we're in, and she was talking to this. It was your cousin,
Yeah, it was Lacey.
and not Lacey Dick, not that Lacey.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was.
See, dude, I know her though. I know Lacey. I would have remembered it was Lacey.
Okay, well then I guess it wasn't Lacey.
You just
guys.
thought it was because you were hanging out with Lacey a lot back then. Anyways, it was some girl that I didn't
Oh my
know.
goodness.
So right as I walked out the door, I'm like, here's my perfect chance. She's standing there right by the door, like talking to some girl. Right as I walk by, I hear this girl say, just as Colette just said, "So who you dating these days?" And it was like the perfect timing. I felt like the timing was like impeccable because I was like full stride. I wasn't like standing
He
there. I
wasn't
was
standing around.
I
It
was
like he
going
was
out the
walking
door.
By
Yeah,
us.
I was walking past them, and it was like in earshot, and it happened just perfectly. And I had the foresight to say, before she could even answer, right as it came out of her friend's lips, I said, "You could date me."
He did. And
And I was like, that was so smooth. And it was just like, that was like the first thing.
well, I just turned, like we both looked at
And
each
then,
other and then looked at him like, "Do you know him?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I don't really know him." It was just like this pause
Yeah, it
that
was
lasted
so
just
funny.
long enough to
They-
be really awkward.
They both looked at me, and then they both looked at each other like, "Do you know him? I don't know him. Do you know him?" And they both looked at me again like, "We don't know you." And I'm just sitting there like waiting for you like to like both like start just making out with me, I guess.
Yes,
Okay.
I will date you.
That's a great suggestion. I will. Thanks for walking by. You have nice lips, by the way. Nom, 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 nom. So
Oh.
there I'm standing there, and I'm like, so funny, right, guys? And they just look at me, and literally, they didn't even say a word. They didn't smile. They didn't snicker. They looked at each other, looked at me, looked at each other, looked at
It
me.
felt like it
And then
happened so fast.
I walked
but
off.
It was like,
I just
huh?
like I was like, "Oh, that didn't work." And I just like put my head down and just walked away. I was like,
was
my
just
friends
like,
were like,
what
"Are you
just
ready, dude?" I'm like,
happened?
let's go." And we just left. I don't even think we even talked. I think I literally just left. with my
no,
friends
like
that
we
night.
didn't really talk.
I was like, so that was the first night. That was like our first encounter. That was like, and then I went home that night. I was like, "Oh, I failed tonight. I failed." I failed."
Oh, you're so sweet.
But okay, so then but see, we hadn't been on our first date yet.
No, of course
Right,
not.
Duh. You
Of
would've known-
course
yeah,
not.
Stupid.
You weirdo.
Stupid. Okay, you tell this part.
So I'll
Unless
probably
you
get
mess
it
up,
wrong,
then I'll
but I
fix
will
it.
just start my way, and then Shay will probably jump in and fix it later, just so y'all know. So I was either a couple days later or the next day. I don't even remember. Like maybe a week later.
Yeah, it was. I think I probably hid low for a while.
Yeah, it was a
probably like
little bit
week or
later.
so.
And
Because, well, do you remember when you did that play? Because our first date was Labor Day, right? September 3rd.
yeah, I
Do you
did.
remember when you did the play?
It was like in the 20s.
You have
August
to go back and read your journals.
27th,
That's a great thing about
August.
journals is you have all this in your journal.
I do, and
So
he
she could
does
go-
too.
we
He
could go
has.
check it out.
He kept a journal as well, so we can go back and like compare and see what we were both thinking at the time. Anyway,
Which we probably should have done before this podcast.
Oh,
All right.
so true. So his friend, the one that he went to the play with, called me
This is like
called our apartment.
what's that
But
movie?
here's a funny little story that you didn't know is one of the girls that I lived with was like kind of liked him, liked Shay's friend. And so he called, and in my mind I'm like, oh, he's calling to ask so and so out. And he
Derek?
wasn't. Yeah, he
Oh,
was calling
for me.
for Shay.
Ask
Shay asked Derek to call and ask if I would go to wakeboarding.
But it wasn't like a date. I'm just like, dude, just like call her and be like,
Call and ask her if she wants
hey,
to
just
go.
a couple
Just
of
like,
us, you know, a couple
of us.
friends. We're just all going out wakeboarding. No big deal. But you want to go? My buddy Shay might be there. You know? And it was, what's that movie with Adam Sandler, Tommy Boy, when he's like calling the teacher and he has his friend. It was like just like
it was
that.
just like that. And at first it
'Cause I
was
was
kind of
telling Derek,
confusing because
I'm
I
like-
thought he was asking me out, like Derek, and I got worried because
Oh,
my
your
friend
friend,
had
yeah.
liked him. But then it was kind of like, oh, we're just all going, and I can't even remember if he said Shay.
He said, well, because I told him, I said, don't tell her that I'm here. Like, I didn't want her to
but
know.
then he said,
But then
Shay
Derek,
doesn't want me to tell you he's
I
here.
know, I'm like,
And then I was like, oh. Then it all like came together.
shut up. I was like, I was
happening?
mortified. I was mortified that like I was caught in this such a childish thing that he's like
It
Shay's
was
right here.
so
And he doesn't. And I
funny.
was like, you, Derek, I hate you. I want to murder you. And I've talked about murder too much today.
I know, calm down.
I was so,
He's so violent.
embarrassed. So then like he puts me on the phone with you and he's like, here, talk to Shay. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, hey, do you want to go wakeboarding?
But I said yes.
Yeah, so she said yes, and I think I beat Derek up after that. And so then we went wakeboarding. Our very first date, we go to pick her up at like 9 a.m, and I remember specifically like, you had these pants on. They were like workout pants. I'm like, those are cool pants.
They were
They had
cool
like these red
pants.
stripes down the side of them. I like really
I
liked
remember
them.
those pants.
And I thought her butt is
That is
definitely
so
not
funny.
big. It was just those pants that she was when she was Reno Sweeney.
Oh my goodness.
So then we went wakeboarding, and it was with, whose boat was that? Do you remember? Was it Derek's?
I don't even remember.
So then we went wakeboarding, and my mom made me bring my little brother with me,
Which
Logan.
was actually a positive for him because I remember
guess so.
watching him with his brother thinking, oh my gosh, he's so sweet. He's being so nice to him. And look how he's teaching him how to do it. And it was like
Yes.
so adorable.
I guess mom knows best
It
after all,
worked.
huh? So, well, how old was he? He was
He
probably
was-
almost
he was
like
like
Suntar's
5.
age.
He was
No,
really
he was
young.
older because he did. Remember, I was holding him on the wakeboard outside
Well,
of the boat.
let's calculate. He's 16 now.
Oh, duh. 6. He was probably 6.
Yeah.
Because we've been married. Well, no, he's probably 7. Because we've been married 9 years. Right?
Yeah.
He was 7. He was Suntar's age. What did I say?
What
Genius!
did I say?
So he was like Suntar's age now. That's crazy to think.
I know.
Our first date, it was like that was our future son like I have right
Oh
now.
my goodness. So sweet.
So anyways, I totally enamored her on the wakeboard too. Did I do some sweet tricks? Do you remember that?
He did some sweet tricks. Oh, that was one other thing. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so good at this. Like he was really good.
Yeah. I wasn't.
He's good at everything though, like
I wasn't
skiing,
Chubba Lubba back then.
wakeboarding, anything, rock climbing, just like sports.
Tell him.
Shay's amazing.
Tell him more.
Tell him more.
Okay, so blah blah blah. Okay, so basically after our first date, I was like, yes, absolutely, positively, I'm in love with this girl. I knew it. Like I was like, I'm gonna marry her. I was like,
See, and in my mind, I was like, I had just kind of gotten out of a relationship. I wasn't wanting to be serious with anybody. And I also had been dating this guy before he left on his mission. And he was on his mission. So in the back of my mind, I still kind of liked this guy who was
she had
gone.
like 6 dudes like in line, basically.
It was just like, I am not an awful person, I promise.
So okay, well let's just she had 2. Basically, she had one guy that she was pretty serious with in high
Makes
school.
me sound awful.
No, you weren't. But like when your senior year, right? Your senior year.
Yeah,
in high
my
school,
senior year, I
her and
dated
this
this
dude
guy.
are like senior year, and she's like the homecoming queen, and this dude plays football for this little town. Good-looking guy, tall, pretty buff. I'd make out with him. Anyways, so she was like, Mommy Tard was a hot high school homecoming queen senior year. So she was like, had this football player boyfriend, and he was a cool guy. So he went on a mission too. And she was like, the way in our culture, in the Mormon church, it's like these girls send these missionaries off, and then either
That's not how it's supposed
it doesn't.
to go.
I know, but it just
It's
happens.
Like, it just happens to be like
I'm
you're
just
if
saying
you're
what
dating
happens
somebody
when
in
we-
that time
when-
in their life and then they choose to go on a mission. It's like then they're gone. It's not like you like broke up because of you didn't like him. It was just like, okay, I'm leaving.
they're still boyfriend and girlfriend.
But we kind of left it to like, okay, well, I'm going to date. You know, you go and focus on your mission, be a good missionary. Don't focus on me at all. And that's how it should be. It's like, okay, you go. That's what you're wanting to do with your life right now. I'm going to be here. I'm going to date. I'm going to do, you know, whatever I want, basically.
Right. Well, that's what you did. I mean, I'm just
But
saying.
in the back
like,
of my
other
mind, it
girls,
was kind of like I had still liked him when he left. So it wasn't like that
So
had
there
just
was
gone away.
unresolved
So,
feelings.
yeah, unresolved feelings. So
she had just got done dating this guy who was the backup quarterback for the college we were going to.
mhm.
And he was also tall and muscular.
And he
and
was
could
a
play
nice guy.
football.
It just didn't work out.
And so that's the guy that she had just broken up with when we met.
Right.
And so then basically, okay, so after our first date, like I was taking like 15 credits or something. I was going to school, and were you
Yeah.
full time too?
Yeah, full-time
Mommy Tard
school.
was.
I was working at
She
Wingers.
paid like how many years did you go to school that you paid for your own tuition?
Oh,
This is a good little side note. She went to school for
I don't
probably
know. I'd
like
have to think.
2 years. 2 years of college. Were you a junior when we?
I don't even
Okay,
remember.
the side note I'm trying to make is that she literally worked at a restaurant full time and went to school and paid for her own schooling, you know, at a college where it was, what was the tuition? It was like $1,700 for a semester. And then books. You're talking about $2,000 per semester. So like $4,000 a
more.
year plus, you know, some
I
living.
don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
she did that all on her own by working. Like that's why, like talking about debt. You know, this is just side note. You know how we hate debt. You don't need to go into like student loans. Can you believe how
No.
we never used our student loans for stuff? We used it to buy like
we did get some
TVs and
student
stuff.
loans, but we didn't use them appropriately.
Yeah, we used. I think
it
we
was
used.
ridiculous.
I think I used some of a student loan.
And
to
this
pay
was
for your
after
wedding
we'd
ring.
gotten married. It was like, yeah, we're
I
married.
know.
Let's get
Student
some
loans,
student
free
loans.
money.
We need
What?
it.
No payments? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll sign up. I'll owe the government money for the rest of my life.
Yay!
Yay!
I love owing money. It's so awesome.
So, okay. So, anyways, I had the schedule. You know, if you're in college or in high school, you've been to school, you have like a schedule, right? So, first hour, second hour, and you walk these certain paths, and you know, you have this pattern. You know, Tuesdays you go to this building, Wednesdays you go to this building. So in my schedule over the next semester, I found out all the times that I would see Colette in her schedule.
I know. There was like certain
There was like probably
periods where we would walk
3
by each
or
other.
4
or-
different times during the week where I knew I could see you at a certain time on campus.
Right.
Like Tuesday, I had this history class, and as I was going to my history class, you were leaving a class in the same building. That's the first place that I ever found out like I could see you like just during my day as I was going to school. So
Right.
like you would be coming out of the building right as I was going in, and I remember you had that like white bag, and you like the first day I saw you had that white sweater on. It was like
That's
fluffy.
so. He remembered
I
so
remember
much
I can
detail.
see it. I can see it.
He
Your
seriously
hair was
does.
up
I'm
because
like,
you were probably
You
getting ready to go
remember
to
what I
Wingers.
was wearing?
Yeah. It was a Tommy Hilfiger. It was that Tommy Hilfiger
yeah,
sweater.
I still have it.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, she's so gorgeous. I was angry at how gorgeous you were. I was like, this is going to be tough.
This happens to me
She's
all the
way
time.
better looking than
Shay's
me.
always so mad because I am gorgeous, I guess.
It's something I have to live with.
Anyways, so let's talk about our feelings. Let's talk about feelings.
Okay, mommy. Let's talk about our feelings.
So at this time in our lives, I was like, I wasn't serious, but I could not get over something about Shay. Like, I couldn't exactly be like, no, I don't want to be serious. It was just, there was something magnetizing about him that I couldn't like let go of.
Was it my
It's
beard?
true.
No,
It was not your beard because you didn't have your beard.
So we started dating basically, and I basically every chance I could, I would try to see her. I would try to ask her out. I was like full time, trying to make
This
you
is very persistent.
my wife. I was super persistent, and I was like, I did like, I'd just go get a Jamba Juice and I'd take it to her work, like just like
He
like
was
little
so
like
sweet.
I tried to
And
I
leave
was
notes
like,
on my
I'd
car.
leave notes. I would like it was. Now that I look back on, it, I'm like, oh, it was. I would.
Hey, you could still leave me a note on my car. I will still be
I should do
gaga
that.
for you.
I should do that more. I
You
haven't left
should.
you a note forever.
I
We used to do that
know.
all the
Leave
time.
me a note.
Okay, I'll leave you a freaking note.
Hey,
Because we
side
always-
note, For
What?
you guys, girls actually like that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's fun because then, like, especially when we were on campus, because then I'd see your car, I'd know where your car was too. So then I'd end up after we like had been on a few dates, so you didn't think I was totally creepy. I would like find her car on campus and go leave her notes. And
So
stuff.
I didn't think you were totally creepy.
Yeah. But it's like you got it. There's a fine line, gentlemen, because sometimes it's like
You don't want to be like,
yeah, like I was still getting
stalker
some
weirdo.
encouragement from her. It wasn't like she was like like running
Leave
to her
me
cars with her
alone.
keys and her mace every time she went out to her car. Like she didn't submit the notes for evidence later. She still like was going out with me and we were doing stuff. So so then should we get to the first kiss?
oh yeah, first kiss.
So she was leaving. She was going back to her town, which is like 30 miles away from where I was at, and she was going home for Thanksgiving. I'm just thinking about the kiss, man. Oh, I've
He's
lost
so
my words.
distracted.
So we are
So I was going home for, I believe
Thanksgiving.
it was Thanksgiving. So it
Yeah.
was right before Thanksgiving. And we were at my house,
in your room
my room, which we should
where
not
we
be in
shouldn't
those
have
places.
been in such temptation.
Oh,
Mommy
But-
Tard would not put out at all while we were
Hey!
dating. I just want to say that right now.
you ladies, you have to play hard to get. You do not give it up.
I remember trying to French kiss her,
Mm-mm.
and she would not like let me French kiss her, and I was like, oh, "Dang it!"
Hey, that's one thing that you have to.
She was-
you
yeah.
have to be a stickler, especially for the girls, because if you just, if you
We
just
should-
give guys whatever they want, they're gonna leave.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Guys are
so we had
so
we were
fickle.
we were listening. We were sitting there on your bed listening to music, and it was like we were like cuddling, kind of, and I was like, I think she might let me kiss her, like, cause I was like so like I want to be the perfect gentleman. I'm not gonna rush anything. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to like
That's the way you gotta be.
because if you would have like denied me, I'd have been like, oh, I could not like So
Handle
I was
it,
like taking
huh?
it so like, are you digging this? Are you gonna let me put my arm on your arm like this? Is that cool, bro?
Is that
We cool, bro? You gonna let me put my cheek on your cheek, bro? It's kind of like that, Yo, bro, your lips are kind of close to mine, bro.
And if you would have been that way, it might have been weird.
Yo, bro, this is Tyrone, bro. Yo, kiss me, bro.
You are so weird.
Raphael, put the gel away. I'm
Hey,
serious. If I see
How
the gel,
are we on time?
Yeah, are we almost? Is this the end of segment 1?
We're at about 30.
30 minutes. All right, so let's go past the kiss and then we'll pick it up.
Okay, so the kiss. So we kissed.
And it was magical.
It was awesome. It was like the best kiss
It
ever.
was magical.
It seriously was magical.
It was so.
And you know what made it so magical?
It was soft.
Because we waited.
Yeah, it was, because it wasn't like
we
you
waited till
rushed.
there was some real
Yeah, there was
feelings
definitely
behind
feelings.
The kiss.
We'd had a ton of discussions about like, we were talking all the time at that point. We'd been how long were we dating till
Well,
we
it
kissed?
was September 3rd till like November 17th.
Yeah. So almost 2 months.
Yeah.
We'd
That's
been
a long
dating
time.
almost 2 months before we
In this
kissed.
day and age, that's probably really weird.
I know, we're
but
coming from a different sector of life than a lot of you listening right now. When you're like, first date, I had sex with him. Oh yeah. He punched my boob. Why would
What?
he do that? I don't
Why
know.
would he do that?
Why do you people do that
That's
weird
weird.
stuff? Stop.
Probably shouldn't do that. So
Okay, so
it wasn't normal, but I think that's what made it so special.
yeah, it was. I shouldn't ruin a moment such special as this with the boob punching.
Oh,
Conversation.
Shay.
So it was, and I was like, I was in love, and I knew it, and I wanted to marry you, and you were running off to northern Idaho, and then so then I was like, still, I was like, yep, and then I was just kind of like waiting. I don't know what I was doing. I was just like, because had I known that I knew by then, because at a previous date when I took her out, she told me about her missionary, and I was like, ugh. So it was like we were dating, like we weren't dating at that point. We were exclusive, other
Yeah.
than that you wanted to not marry me until this missionary came home, so that you could date him just to see if there were still feelings for it.
We didn't really ever say that though.
But
But
I
it
mean,
was
that
kind
was
of like one of those things.
right,
Like I couldn't really fully commit to him because there were still feelings,
right.
and so
I
like
basically was-
emotionally, I was still a little bit held back.
Right.
Does that
Yeah.
make
Well, you
sense?
didn't want to commit because I was basically, I didn't propose.
He was
to you,
committed, but I wasn't.
but I
ready.
was like, I would marry you. Like I had said that, I think, at that point. Like I think you knew that I wanted to be very serious and maybe talk about marriage, but you couldn't really totally commit to that because you had these feelings still. Is that
Right.
right? Is that fair to
Right.
say?
Yeah.
So we had this kiss. It was a great kiss, and she went home for Thanksgiving and her sister's wedding, and then came home.
It wasn't the wedding yet.
Wasn't? Well, I don't know.
Nope.
We kissed. That's all I care
Because
about.
she got married like the same year we did.
Oh yeah, right before, huh?
Anyways.
Oh, because that's where you saw the missionary at her wedding. That's
Right,
in my mind.
see?
Oh, right.
We're making the story more exciting.
more exciting. Okay,
But
so
that is
that's the end of one. So here, let's give a little teaser here. We're going to tell you a little bit about a place called Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
And basically, after it was probably like 6 months. I left in March. I left right before my birthday in
Right.
March, and I was pissed because she wouldn't commit to me. So I said, "I'm leaving. I'm
out of here.
I'm moving to Dallas, Texas. Yeehaw!" And I packed up my car and I left. And I left her in Idaho. And I said,
He didn't leave
"You
like that
wait."
though.
Yeah, I was like,
He
"I
did not
love
leave
you.
like
Please
that.
come with me."
He's like, I'm gonna go. And I was like, I
So
know,
tune in
bye.
on the next podcast to hear about Dallas, Texas. And the night that I spent $79 on a dinner that spun
That was
in the air.
awesome.
Tune in. This is the podcast with Shay and Colette from Maker Studios in Los Angeles. Thanks for tuning in. Join the next one. Be sure to download it on iTunes.
Love you. Bye.
Okay.